Anxiety used to be what woke me up and what I went to bed with. And when I had kids, I knew I needed to change my relationship with anxiety, which is why I created these 4 tools. These 4 questions help me on a daily basis manage my anxiety so that I can feel amazing, live the life that I know that God created me to live, and so that I can also have these tools to teach my kids. Because let's face it, there's a lot to be anxious about in this world. And if you're wired for anxiety, we need solutions. Now, the funny thing about struggling with anxiety, especially if you're a high achieving, highly driven woman, is that people don't expect you to be anxious. They say, you've got it. You master so many things that people don't know the immense amount of pressure that you are putting on yourself. So I get it. I get the way you're wired because I'm wired like that too. Driven, but driven to a point where you go, why can't I just relax? It's not that you can't relax. It's that we need to know how to talk back to our anxiety in a more loving, compassionate, curious, and helpful way. These questions will help you do just that. Okay, so this first question, it may sound like it's too obvious, but please, you still need to say it. What am I anxious about? Exactly. Like, really want to know if you could put it into one sentence, and particularly in a sentence that maybe my 7-year-old would be able to understand. What am I anxious about? And we often need to write it in very simple language, 5 to 7 words for that sentence. I'm afraid that I won't be able to get it all done. I'm afraid that all of my effort is not going to pay off. Like, write down the real fear. This is where I think we go, I'm just anxious because I'm overwhelmed. That's not an answer, because my 7-year-old won't understand what that means. Why are you anxious? What does overwhelm mean? And more often than not, our anxiety can be stated as a simple fear. When you state the exact fear, you make changes. That's game changing. Why? What am I anxious about? I'm afraid that blank. Fill it out. When you bring your deepest fear to light, it's no longer the monster hiding under the bed. And look, pen and paper, game changing. Write it down. Now, but you can still do this work if you're on a walk, if you're at work and you can't access a pen and paper, but there's a lot more power when you write it down. What am I anxious about? And then tell the truth. But tell the truth in a way that your kids or a young child would understand. And the reason we want to put it in language that a child will understand is because we're talking to our inner child. That little girl inside is still there, and she needs to hear it in very simple language. Next question is, what am I making it mean? What am I making it mean? It seems like a simple question, but what am I making it mean? I'm making you mean that I don't have enough time, that I'm not enough. I'm making you mean that life feels out of control and I'm afraid life's going to get worse, right? That maybe the other shoe's going to drop, that who was I to get my hopes up? I'm making it mean that something's wrong with me. What are you making it mean? You see that everything that we tell ourselves, there's a story that we are attaching to it. And what this process is doing is one of my coaching processes that teaches you to question your thoughts versus attached to them. All right, our third question we're going to ask ourselves is, what do I want to make it mean? Now, you may not think you have that much power, but you do. You have authority in your thoughts. It's time to use it. So first we start with asking ourselves, what am I making this mean? Now, what do I want it to mean? Let's do an example, because we need this to be real. What am I making it mean? Maybe you are feeling anxious about an upcoming presentation and you have stage fright, and you're making it mean that if you are not good on stage, you won't progress well in your career. Well, what do you want to make it mean? If you're afraid that you're going to not be good on stage, and you're making it mean that then you're going to cap your professional growth, what if you make it mean, I'm a person who's willing to show up. I want to make it mean that I'm proud of myself for being willing to speak in public, to get on stage, to post the video, to post on social media, to do whatever that thing is that you're anxious about, because you are more proud of the person that you're going to become by doing the scary thing than the person who would hold back. Let's do another scenario. Maybe you're feeling anxiety about the fear of aging, right? You're feeling anxious, you're afraid what if you gain weight? What if you gain the weight back? What if your wrinkles get out of control and you don't have the money for the Botox that you want at the level you want? I don't know, fill in the blank. What am I anxious about? I'm afraid that I'm not going to. But if you tell my 7-year-old that, he's not going to get it. What are you anxious about? I'm afraid that I'm not going to age beautifully. What am I making that mean? What are you making that mean when you're anxious? What does that fear voice say? Probably that I won't be beautiful. I won't feel good. I won't like myself. And maybe you're making it mean you won't be loved or lovable or likable or valuable. Now let's change the story. What do I want to make it mean? I want to make it mean that the privilege of aging is a beautiful thing, that there is splendor in the wisdom I will have. I can make it mean that I love that I'm a insightful, a self-aware person who pays attention to my nutrition and my aging, and I like my skincare routine. I like how many steps I get in my step count per day. I like that I'm intentionally proactive about my gut microbiome. I can make it mean that yes, while there are things that are out of my control, there is a lot that is in my control, and I am proud of myself and the proactive measures I am taking to be someone who ages beautifully, and that my belief that age and beauty comes from the inside, that my beauty will shine no matter what age I am. That's what I want to believe instead. We always get to tell ourselves the better story. Our final stage of questioning to get rid of this anxiety is, what do I know is true? What do I know is true? What do I know is true? I know that God has made me beautiful. What do I know is true? That the right door is going to open. What do I know that is true? If I get on stage and I get stage fright, the world will not end. What do I know is true? This won't matter in 3 days. This won't matter in 3 weeks. What do I know is true? Another way to ask this is, what would God say to me? What is the truth? You see, we've got to first identify the fear, then ask what the story is, ask what we want the story to be, and then sandwich it with truth. We got a club sandwich going on here, of sandwiching it with truth and saying back to ourselves, look, anxiety is just an emotion, and it does not have to be a dictator in my life. I have authority to talk back to it. And we don't just talk back to it and be like, oh, it's fine. That doesn't work. I wanted to give you a way that works. And then one bonus tip for if you're on an anxiety spiral or you're feeling just super anxious and you can't remember these 4 questions, here's something simple you can do. 5 gratitudes. Just list out very quickly in your brain. Use your fingers. I call this gratitude on the go. And open up. I'm so grateful for the gift of breath. I'm so grateful for the advances in technology that I get the privilege to live in. I'm so grateful for the laughter and the silliness of my children. I'm so grateful. Fill in the blank. For the smell of a cup of coffee. You'd be amazed at how gratitude can turn around that anxiety and center you and remind you that ultimately you need to know you are okay. You are loved. You are enough. If this video resonated with you and you're wired like me just to have these anxieties and you're excited to finally have 4 questions to talk back to them, comment below. Let me know this was helpful. I'd also love to hear if you like the gratitude on the go technique. Give it a try. Come back. Let me know. And if you really want to have victory in your life over anxiety so that it is truly a thing of your past and a small emotion that you very gently escort out every day successfully and with victory and authority, I want to share my anxiety neutralization technique with you. It is an incredible 3-step process. I teach it all in my course, which I will link below. I can't wait for you to get your hands on it because right now I have a massive flash sale on it, truly because it is a resource that changed my life. What I shared with you today was the surface start. If you're ready to go deeper and really detox anxiety and have from it having power over you in your life, it's time to walk with joy. It's time to walk in the freedom that is available to you. The anxiety neutralization technique will do that. Thank you for watching. If you haven't yet hit subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video.